Well, Donald Trump is a question mark in this 2016 race. I spoke with him earlier about his plans, free speech, Jeb Bush, and whether you have to be to run for president. Great to see you, Mr. Trump. Thanks for being here. There's a Bloomberg poll saying 62% of Republicans would never consider you for the GOP nomination.
And I think that's because, and they checked it, but that's because nobody thinks I'm running. They don't think I'm running. Nobody, it's really a funny thing. As you know, I came in, beat almost everybody in the New Hampshire Bloomberg. He's running. He looks unhappy. He looks like he just doesn't want to be there. I watched the interview. The question couldn't have been any easier.
Let me put it to you. If knowing what we know now, would you have authorized the invasion into Iraq?
Well, as you know, you don't have to put it to me because you have the article that said in 2004, I was strongly against ever going in.
Right.
Because I viewed Iraq and Iran as being the same in terms of power. And they'd push one way, they'd push another way. They'd have their 5-year war, and then they'd stop and take a breather, and then they'd have their 5-year war. Nothing ever happened. Mm-hmm. We decapitated Iraq, and now Iran is taking over the entire Middle East. They're taking over.
But, some of the Republicans say that is the fault of President Obama for pulling out all the troops when we had victory, that they snatched, defeat from the jaws of victory.
It's the fault of Obama, there's no question. It's the fault of Bush for going in. It's the fault of Obama for getting out. It's a disaster. The war should have never happened. And then once it did happen, you should have at least left the troops in. Mm-hmm. So it's really a double fault.
Let's talk about Amtrak, because after the Philadelphia train crash, you started tweeting out about infrastructure, saying the only one to fix the infrastructure of our country is me, and talking about how you know how to build things, which is obviously true.
It is true.
But we were talking on this show about, those who are blaming infrastructure as what are you talking about? The guy was going twice the speed limit. How do you make this an infrastructure problem?
Well, even that's infrastructure, because if they had the right things on the rails, it couldn't have gone more than 50 miles an hour.
But you can't blame the crash on infrastructure.
Look,
the crash appears to be the fault of the driver. Sure. Infrastructure may have been able to overcome that, but it wasn't the cause.
Regardless of the train, the train. The bridges are falling apart. The roads are falling apart. The medians are falling. The airports look like hell. I mean, the airports. I come back from places like Qatar. We're doing a tremendous job in Dubai. 2 actually very big jobs in Dubai. The airports are unbelievable. Then we land at LaGuardia. It's third world country. We land at Kennedy with potholes on the runway. Mm-hmm. We land at LAX in Los Angeles,
all that
Newark
takes money.
Airport.
Takes money.
Sure, we have to have the money.
President Obama's been pushing for more money for infrastructure, and the Republicans have been saying we don't have it.
He doesn't push it the right way. You have to take the money back. You have to take the jobs back from China, from Mexico, from all these other countries that are absolutely eating our lunch, and nobody can do that like I can do it.
Let's talk about free speech, because after that Pam Geller event down in Garland, Texas, where they were attacked and the 2 would-be jihadis were shot dead by the police force, you also sent out some tweets saying, why taunt in order to provoke possible death? Dumb.
I think Pam Geller is a terrible messenger. I think she's terrible. And what she's doing, we have enough problem without taunting and driving everybody crazy.
But my question to you is, because this turned into a bigger thing, what do we stand for as Americans, if not for freedom of speech and the ability to express yourself? And this speech in particular, which was in defiance, it's like the cartoon that won the contest. It had Muhammad standing there saying, you can't draw me, and the person looking up to him saying, that's why I draw you. It was about people trying to shut down an American ideal, and this group, however unsympathetic they may have been, saying, we reject that attempt.
They were totally unsympathetic. Now, you look at Mohammed and you look at some of the positions they have Mohammed, and some people are going to get extremely upset about it. Now, I'm not the only one, and I'm not the only conservative Republican that feels this way, and they're lucky even to be alive. But why, with all the problems we have, why taunt?
What do you make of what we're seeing now? What do you mean that, the White House is saying, the administration is saying, we're taking care of ISIS, that this is just a setback in Ramadi, and that the overall strategy is a success?
It's a total disaster. We're losing it so badly. They're cutting off the heads of every Christian that they can find, and other people.
What would you do differently?
Well, you're going to have to be stronger. You're going to have to go in there much stronger. I'll tell you one thing I'd do different. So they caught the accountant, they call him the accountant, and a few days ago. Instead of talking about it, they should be silent. And they should go, now there's bragging, we got him. First, he was a mid-level person. And it was such publicity. We got him, one person. They should have been quiet and gone after others that weren't suspecting. It's very interesting. I'm a big fan of General Douglas MacArthur. I'm a big fan of General George Patton. They don't talk, they do.
You haven't been a military leader, and you haven't actually governed a state or a
So all over the world I do business. I make great deals. I've made hundreds of millions of dollars against China. All over the world I make money, and I build great things. We're talking talking about building walls. Who's going to build a wall like me on the southern border? I built a great company.
I know you've hired staffers in Iowa and New Hampshire, South Carolina, so it appears you're gearing up.
Yeah, I'm gearing up, and we'll see what happens, and you may be very surprised. I hope you're going to be there.
You have to be a little
it's very simple.
to run, don't you? A little bit?
No, not really. I want to make the country great again. This country is a hellhole. We are going down fast. And I'm a conservative, but I have a big heart. I will take care of people. But a lot of people want me to run, and we'll see what happens.
Great to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
What do you think? Do you have to be a little... You also have to be a little to be on TV.